name is Evelyn Cafferty, and this is my company About Hygiene. We're food safety and training consultants. Primarily we do HACCP training for food handlers and for managers. We also help implement and mentor people mentor businesses when they're implementing their food safety systems. So what I want to talk to you today is about, our approach to food safety training, because an awful lot of people, when they go on training courses, they're sent on by managers, and it's sort of, oh God, you're not sending me on another training course, and it's, sometimes, people going on training courses, or when, that they feel sometimes disconnected, and they're sort of looking at our David Brain character and thinking, oh God, it's going to be touchy-feely, and they don't feel connected to the training. So when we're doing our training, we try to ensure that people are always engaged. Now, before we do training programs, especially when it is in company, we make sure that we speak to management to make sure that we're getting a feel for the company that we're delivering the training to, so that people are going to be engaged in that training. Oftentimes people come on training courses, they're really interested in their jobs, but because they maybe feel that they have been pushed onto a training program, and or they feel that they have had this training before, that they're just simply not engaged. Now, sometimes you'll have people that are just simply not engaged, and lots of times it's just how you manage, and it is, as well in a corporate structure and in a business structure, it's how you deal with that as well. So that's what I want to talk to you for the next few minutes about, the different types of people. So when I'm delivering a training program, or any of our trainers are delivering training, I will start off with an icebreaker, and you're trying to get a feel for who the people are in the room. That you'll start off by explaining who you are, so that you're honest. So you start and you're saying, my background is that I've come from a food safety background. My background is food science in UCC. That I ensure that I let people know that I have a great deal of knowledge when it comes to food safety, but I don't know everything, and I'm willing to learn from the people on the course, because there's nothing worse than people being preached to. So when we're on a training program, or when people are on a training program, I try to make sure that everyone is involved. So even at the very outset, I'll always try to ensure that the training that I'm trying to find out who in the group would be, the champion of the course, so of the module. So even at the stage where you're asking people what their name is, you try to ask them, well, what does food safety mean to them? And that sometimes can be a very bland question. So it's sort of asking, well, if you're eating out, what would turn you off one particular establishment over another? And that gives you a feel for who the people are on the program, because you will get people that love to, that want to engage with you. So you have those people out from the outset. So those people are really motivated by their job, and they'll also help to bring other people on board. And this is the same when you're putting in a food safety management system into a business, that you need someone in the business that is going to bring everyone else on board. Now, there's also, you have the ambassador. They're quiet, they're interested in their job, but they don't want to take a lead role without a little bit of motivation. So on a training program, you leave them be for a little while, but you try to softly get the person involved. Make sure that you're giving them a lead part, because you can turn that person into a champion. So say if I have 10, 15 people, I have 2 people now on my side. Now, a lot of people get very upset, our trainers get very upset when there's someone in their group that's challenging, that are challengers. They'll ask you lots of questions, and there's absolutely nothing to fear of those people, especially if you know your subject well. So when I look at someone that's asking me questions, I'm not worried by them. I know they're interested. Now, there's a big difference between, say, a challenger and a skeptic. A challenger wants to know, do you know your subject? They want to know, well, what's the benefits of this training to my business and to me? They want to know the reason that we should do things this way. They may ask you, or they may tell you, I have an alternative. That way you can discuss with them and the others in the audience, well, what's the alternative? Maybe there is an alternative, maybe there's a negative side to that, and then you can come up with a decision. And that's really important when you're doing training in company, because again, you have the person that was championed the training from the outset, you had the person that was interested, you brought them on board. Now you have the person that was challenging you, but because you knew what you were about, they're on board as well. And in a lot of cases, that person is really important that you actually identify that person, especially when it's food safety, because a huge amount of food safety is about risk assessment, and you want that person as the risk assessor. You want them to be able to identify where the gaps are in the system. So don't be frightened of, say, if you are doing training in company, or if you have someone that's questioning you, make sure that you, again, familiar with your subject. Don't immediately assume that they're unsupportive and negative. Now, you also have on a training program, you might get a skeptic, and don't take it personally. They probably are skeptical about all things in life. So the best part of that is, that once you believe in yourself, you know what you're doing is right, you understand your subject, that it's not personal, and again, you have the other people that are on board that's going to come in behind you and say, look, give this person a chance, give the project a chance. So so that's the skeptic in the group. Then you have a skeptic that might want to actually sabotage a project or sabotage a training program. And sometimes people think people are sabotaging things just on purpose. And it could be that you take it personally. Like, you look at the skeptic and you feel all sorry for yourself. Oh, they're attacking me. Oh, woe is me. When in actual fact, it's you weren't prepared. And that they're not trying to. That they're not trying to cut the feet from under you. So it is important that you don't say that someone is deliberately trying to destroy a project or a training program. Now, you'll have people on a training program that are thieves. Now, this is the person that comes in and they're time wasters, and they like the sound of their own voices in a lot of cases, and they want to disrupt. Proceedings. They're not exactly satisfied with the job they're in, and in a lot of cases, they're going to actually waste the time of the others that are actually interested. So it's important, say, as a trainer, that you develop techniques, and you're saying, look, we'll discuss this at the break. We'll maybe afterwards we'll have a look at this, so that because that time waster can sometimes be underhanded, and actually it's affecting the whole group. It's affecting the project. So it's very important that you're able to identify all the different personalities. Now, on training programs, you also get prisoners. Now, prisoners are motivated members of staff, believe it or not. So you might think, oh, they're in chains, they're stuck here. But in a lot of cases, they are very motivated. But say, especially when it's, say, maybe a food handler that is being promoted up, or they've been asked to maybe do, say, training where that it's a little bit outside their comfort zone, and they do feel trapped. They're looking at maybe other people's qualifications, and they feel a little bit intimidated by the group. So it's important that if people are going on training programs, be it food safety or whatever type of program it is that that they're on a program that suits them. So it's very important, and this is something that we stress when we do training with companies, that you make sure that you're sending the right staff on the right program, so that you don't have some poor unfortunate that's there going, this is something that has no relevance to my job, I don't understand it, and actually you're going to actually leave them with lower self-esteem than they started off with. But in a lot of cases, if that person needs to be on a more advanced program, with enough time, with correct coaching, with proper training, you'll bring them on board. Now, on some training programs, you get passengers. So we can see our lady here, and she's not particularly happy. Now that person is different to the prisoner. Say the prisoner, they were sent on it, and they know why they're being sent on it, and they want to be there, but they are nervous. Whereas the prisoner, in a lot of cases, you can even see from where the person is seated. They're not at the front of the bus. That they've been put down the back, and they might feel that really their true place is at the front, and actually they're folding their arms, or they were stuck on they were stuck on the course, and the person that was supposed to come with them didn't bother to turn up, so they're feeling hard done by. Those type of people on courses are going to be unmotivated, and say as a trainer your job is to try and figure out, are they a prisoner or are they a passenger? And if they're a passenger, it's how you're going to actually get them on board, get them in twos. Because say when you're putting in a food safety management system, when you're putting in any project, that type of person, for the rest of the people on the program, for the trainer especially, can be quite soul destroying, and they can cripple projects and they can kill team spirit. So it's important that you have the right people on programs. So the important thing is, do you know your staff? On a training, so when you are sending people on training programs, if you are putting in a food safety management system, make sure that management are on board. Without management, your training program, your food safety management system will fail. Always have someone there as a deputy that you can actually make sure that maybe they're there, that can take a lead role. That you can coach, that they can become the champion as well. Don't be fearful of the challenger. They want to know why they're there. What's the benefits? What's the reason? Is there an alternative? Is there anything negative about this? And they'll help you come up with decisions. And they're very useful on a training program, because they really make training programs far more enjoyable for everyone, trainer and trainees alike. The skeptic, well, what can we say? It's a matter of dealing with that person and dealing with people appropriately. But making sure that you're not mixing up the two personality types, that you're not feeling hard done by. The other thing is, it's about, if you have a time waster, how are you going to deal with it? That you deal with it swiftly, and you make sure that it's brought outside the room if it is affecting the whole group. Prisoners, make sure that the right people go on courses. Make sure that the subject that's been taught is relevant, and the passenger, it's a matter of trying to make them feel that really they are at the top of the bus, that they're not just coming along for the ride. So that's thank you for listening to me. And if anyone has any questions or is interested in the type of training that we provide, I have some business cards here, and I'd be delighted to talk with you afterwards, if that's okay. All right, thank you.